Okay, 1303, good luck. So we've not played before, we have no head-to-head score there under the board. 260 games for opponent, just provisional ratings in Bullet and Blitz. Okay, we'll play traditional reti. E3 is a bit more fashionable, certainly at the elite level these days, just to challenge the early pawn push. Okay, comes down. Actually, I'm going to do that. I'll transpose into it. So we're kind of transposing out of the standard reti. Instead of going G3, I'll just vary it. I'll still do B3, I think, though. Just gives us an option to take back with a pawn as well as the bishop. Okay, we'll develop our bishop. You've always got to watch out for the diagonal when you play this type of line. Now we're just going to try and challenge for the center. Okay, not on this move, we're not. We could get a tempo and actually attack the bishop though, couldn't we? What's wrong with that? I quite like that move actually. I'm going to do that because if you go this way, it gives you a chance to blunder. So you might have to go back. Okay, it has gone back. I'm going to play bishop up again. I could play d4. Maybe d4 quickly is a slightly more principled move. But we've got castling done. Okay. Right, I'm now going to go d4 and try and challenge center. Pawn's playing very well so far. Okay, let's bring our knight up, but it's a completely normal position for both sides here. Oh, now he tries to blast it open now. I think I should take here to try and isolate a pawn. And hopefully we won't have an isolated pawn. Okay, so now I'm going to take here, see how it takes back. We can always push on. We're trying to target a pawn if we can. We've got knight over, hit the bishop. Now we could go this way as well. And try and trade one for the other. You could go here, I guess, though. Now have I got knight across here? Hit the bishop. Go back somewhere. Take the knight. You're still guarding. Bishop up's a move. Everything's kind of okay. I'm going to go an early h3 just to stop pieces jumping to g4. Just kind of prepares the bishop to d3 move without the bishop coming to g4. But we've got knight across. We've got knight here. We've got to be careful though. We've got pawn up as well. Actually, I'm going to do that. Kick the bishop again. It gives our queen extra flexibility, at least potentially. Knight up, like I say, we can challenge the bishop, but you've got a very natural square going back. So just see where this bishop's going. But if we can, we'd like to win this pawn. So do we just take the pawn now? Is there any reason not to? I'm wondering. Takes, takes, takes. We do attack the bishop as well, don't we? If you played a move like knight across, it would be a mistake. Here, say you just move your knight out the way somewhere randomly. We should be able to drop the knight to one of these squares and still trade the queen, but there is potentially rook down at the end of the line, hitting two bishops. So we still got to pay attention. Here, takes, takes, rook down. The bishops are under attack, aren't they? So maybe it doesn't work right now. Takes, takes, here. Rook comes down. If queen down, you can block. Although no, we hit the bishop though, don't we? But then you can guard. It's very risky move, very risky move. I say it looks like a free pawn, but I'm not convinced it is a free pawn. So I'm not going to gamble. I'm just going to develop the bishop. I'm not going to take a gamble there. It looks like a free pawn, but it's a potentially poisoned pawn. So let's see where this bishop goes. The knight comes forward, but now it looks like it is actually a free pawn. This time I'm going to take it. I've got options to come back. I can take the bishop with a check. Then I can maybe trade, but we've gained a valuable pawn now. Yeah, it's so easy to miss a move like that. Rook coming in and you hit two pieces. Okay, there might be a line where we can defend them, but you've got to spend the time to try and figure it all out. Okay, so we're about level on the clock now. Okay, the knight's gone back. So we could just trade here. Queen takes. I think that makes good sense. Takes, takes, queen up creates a checkmate threat, but the queen does guard the bishop. But I don't want to spend all day thinking about that. Now, is there a deflector move somewhere here? Knight across the queen covers. Knight across, you can drop back. I'm just looking at takes, takes, queen up to create the mate threat. Here, you're probably fine, aren't you? It's giving up the bishops, but feels alright to me. I don't know if it is, but it feels like it. Am I getting good enough development? I'm not sure I am. I think I'll play rook across. Am I missing something possibly? Well, hold on. That's what I'm missing there. There's a bit of a serious problem coming potentially. Here, here, queen up. I don't want any of that. I'm actually looking at maybe here as well, but feels to me like I should pop the bishop in the middle of the board. Then try and come up with a plan. Connect the rooks, challenge this rook, hit the pawn just as a deflector move really. But something like queen up to get the rooks into play. Knight down, we can always maybe trade a bishop, but let's see what black does. The knight comes forward, so we can go here or take, and then go here and maybe win an exchange now. Here, queen takes is probably good though. Actually, I don't mind if the if you take then I take back here, so I'm just going to develop the rook and hope I'm not blundering. I'll take back with the knight and hit the bishop. Now if we take the rook first, you would have knight takes knight with a check, so that would be a blunder. So we hit the bishop. I'm not going to pre-move here though. I'm still actually down on the clock. He's playing very well. But we are a pawn up. And there is an immediate threat there. If takes a rook, we might be able to actually take the bishop, but I don't think it actually works. Okay, comes in. So now I think we do actually take the bishop. Our queen's under attack, but we attack the queen at the same time. If the queen moves, we can then move our queen somewhere. Worst case, we should just be breaking even. I think we actually take there. We hang a queen because we're hitting a queen. If you move your queen, I think we can move ours and guard everything. And then if you throw a knight check in, we can take with the queen. So it's a little bit risky walking into a potential pin, but I think we've got it. Depends where this queen lands up now as to where we go, but obviously one of the pieces could be loose. Maybe queen up, then you're walking into issues this way, so let's just see. But if you take, I take here, and then we can just take the rook. Yeah, so the queen's moved out of the way. But now we should be fine to move out the way as well. Knight check is still covered, so I don't want to burn all my time on that, so I'll just get the queen out the way. Again, if you try and avoid a trade now, then there is a knight check threat. Here is covered. Okay, it does trade, so there's an immediate threat there. Knight check is covered by the bishop. We're threatening check here. I've still got to pay attention. There is potential to go wrong. We've still got to pay attention. Oh, that's an exchange though. So let's hit the two rooks. One of them will come across and you'll have a choice of which pieces to take. So again, depends what black does here. If this rook goes, I think we just take. That one's gone over. So let's take. So you've got a choice of which one you want, but you've got a back rank issue to look out for. Okay, so I assume we just check and bring our knight back. We could grab a pawn, but then the knight's a little bit awkwardly placed, so I'm not going to worry about that pawn. I'm just going to bring the knight back. Actually, I've blundered, have I? I'm allowing, I've sort of blundered because I'm allowing a check there and you'll win an exchange, but I'm still going to be a knight up, so it's fine. So I'll just allow a check and then I'll take back. And then there is actually a checkmate threat if you miss it. It's easy to overlook that as a checkmate threat there. The knight's cutting the square. So that's a threat my opponent needs to be aware of now. Don't push that pawn because it's still a checkmate threat. So we've got 5 pawns, 6 pawns, and we've got the extra knight as well. So we're appeasing a pawn up. Oh, he's missed it, unlucky. The king's squares are still covered, so rook back in its checkmate. That's unlucky there. Decent effort by my opponent, well done. So let's put that one through the engine like with all the others and see how we actually played it. 31 moves we had for that one. So not a perfect game. We've been better here and we've made some mistakes. We made a blunder, so it was what? 86% against 80%, 38 centre pawn loss, so a little bit below my normal, but also we have thrown a blunder in here somewhere, so a little bit up and down. So some mistakes. So what are we doing here? Yeah, the engine's saying we should have just taken the pawn straight away. I declined to take the pawn. It's engine saying it's actually a mistake. So the rook coming down was nothing to be concerned about. And then our blunder. Instead of taking there, we should have actually taken here first. So I didn't take the time to calculate that all out. I thought everything was covered there, but maybe there is some sort of line with queen d4 coming up. So it says bishop takes, bishop takes. Yeah, play the immediate queen d4 straight away. You create the mate threat, and you're covering the bishop coming here. So I'd seen the concept, I just didn't execute it correctly, but this is what the engine is saying that you should have played. You can take your time in your own games and play through them all, of course, but still a good win and a good effort by my opponent. Well done.